Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, and today it's going to be a bit of a tricky day also because we're putting all of our things to the test. We are taking the show on the road today. We are going to Texas, and so it's going to be a little bit tricky, especially because it's going to be a bit of a busy day, and there's also traveling just sort of disrupts everything. And I've been in a little bit of a sort of, I don't want to say panic, but just a bit overwhelmed. But we're going to get into all of those things in a minute. Today is Friday, and even though it's a busy day, I made a promise to you guys, and you guys made a promise to me, and we are going to do this together. It is time for a workout. So get ready. Get whatever it is that you need. If you need to pause here and gather yourself, do it now because we are going to start our workout right now. All right, let's get this going. It's going to be, again, about 20 minutes, and I will be doing my kettlebell swings, but, you guys will be doing whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually wearing a smaller shirt today. Usually the t-shirts that I've been wearing are triple XL, and this is a double XL that I just got. And, a little tight, but wearable. So, okay, let's get this started. We're warmed up, and let me just prepare my little guitar picks to keep track of my sets. Okay, let's get going with the first set, and then we'll talk a little bit. All right, let me just tie my hair. Okay. Let's do this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Today is a bit of a hectic day, and things just didn't really start that well. I was having a rough day yesterday. If you watch yesterday's video, having a rough day. I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be this, it could be the diet, but there's also a lot of other stuff going on in terms of like work and family stuff. And so I felt burnt out, like after lunch, and lunch was delicious. But after lunch, I sat down here at my desk and I just didn't want to do anything. I'm sure that you've had days like that, just really didn't want to do anything. And eventually I decided that I needed a mental health day. I've not taken one of those in, I can't even tell you how long. And so I thought, okay, maybe I've been pushing myself a little hard. Let's relax, let's chill. And I disconnected from everything. And that's kind of when some things started to go not wrong, but anyway, we'll get into it. Let's do another set. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I usually try, at least, or I'm trying to be a little more organized in general, and I try to prepare my day the night before. Well, it turns out that today, and since I'm going to Texas today, it's a family thing. I'm going to Texas, and so sort of like that was what was on my mind. And I forgot that I had a doctor's appointment that I've been waiting for like a month. And I had it this morning. And because yesterday I was so overwhelmed, I took the rest of the day off and completely disconnected. I didn't do my planning for today. And the planning that I did in my head was all related to, making sure that I had enough time to get all these things done. I also have another thing before going to the airport. And so my mind was on that. And then I completely forgot, didn't get the reminder because I disconnected from everything. And I forgot that I had a doctor's appointment today early. And so completely missed that and sort of woke up in a panic and like, oh shit. Woke up at 8:15 and the appointment was at 8. So, and it's like over half an hour away for the office. So, it was completely missed. And so it's just kind of waking up in that sort of like frantic, I'm sure you've had your fair share of those. We all have. All right. Oh, I did the second one. See, I even forgot to do my counting thingies. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Ugh. So, I'm sure that that when you sort of start your day in that way, it's very easy to set yourself up for failure by getting overwhelmed. So it's taken I guess I've been putting some of my mental energy to getting back to a centered place to make sure that it doesn't spill over to other parts of the day. Because it is a bit of a busy day. We got to finish here. Then I want to make some food. And then, because I'm going, we made plans to go down to downtown DC to see the cherry blossoms. And so, and then from there, going to the airport. So it's very easy, at least for old me, to have that just kind of spill over everything for the day and have a hectic day that is just, and so trying to get back to this. And I keep thinking like, if it wasn't for you guys and the commitment that we have to do this today, I probably would have skipped it. So it already goes to show how good this is for me. I hope that it is for you. I'm here. All right, let's keep going. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 9, 40. Whew. But things can get really tricky. Sometimes they can get really, really tricky. I feel like it's getting a little bit easier to do as opposed to what it felt like before. And I should have tightened my hair. I keep stepping over it. But yeah, I feel like it's so easy to overlook the mental health aspect of this journey, and feeling like, at least for me, when we're preparing to take on something challenging like this, to overestimate how good you're gonna feel. And it's interesting because the first few days, the first couple weeks that historically have been difficult for me were actually not difficult at all. I think that there was a lot of novelty with the stuff that I was trying with you guys and all my things, and that just sort of kept it going. But now that it has become more of a routine and sort of the rest of life starts seeping in, this is when it becomes a little more difficult. And again, I keep emphasizing the importance of having systems in place, because I feel like if it wasn't for this thing that I've created around it, I might not be still doing this here, because it's so easy to just like, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. Let's just not do it today. We'll pick it up on Monday again. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have done that or said that. Let me try another set. 41, 41. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 49, 50. And so just the fact that we're doing this together really helps a lot. Whew. And so if there's something that I've been learning, or like one of the biggest lessons over the last 40 plus days, is what is the system and how does the system work on the worst possible days? Because that's what's really going to determine the success of something. Now, let's talk about this weekend, because I'm going to be away, and I was feeling have been, and still am, I guess, a little anxious about food. It's going to be a little bit trickier because I won't be traveling with all my things, obviously. And so how can I do the best in the situation that I'm going to be in? Luckily, it's Texas, so there will be Texas barbecue, and Texas barbecue can be very low carb. And so like that's a plus. All right, let's keep going. 51, 52, 53, 4, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So there is that, but especially like when I'm traveling, again, I find that comfort in food. And to me, it's always been like, oh, but I'm in this place, and I'm not here that often. And, this delicious thing that I love. And of course I fucking have something that I love in like every place I visit. And so it's a little bit trickier because, again, we're testing the system. We're testing these things against real life. When we're here in a contained environment where we control everything, is easy to set yourself up for success like I have over the last few weeks. But this is like the first time we went out to eat. And so we're still finding our ways. And again, I've talked about this often. We're figuring out what works for us, what works for each one of us. Is it being more restrictive? Is it being a little more relaxed? As long as we maintain what the goal is and don't use that as an excuse for completely breaking, then, it's not bad. All right, let's do another. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Okay. Whew. But yeah, I'm gonna try to, I guess my approach is try to be aware of what I'm eating and not giving myself permission to completely check out, I guess, if that makes any sense. Still be mindful of what I'm eating and what I'm getting. And even if we're not measuring everything, just having somewhat, take some pictures and make sure that we're guesstimating the amounts as best we can, as honestly as we can. And try to keep it within, what we think will keep us on the right track, I guess. But it is tricky. So I wanted to eat something beforehand so that we can go and do our visit of the cherry blossoms in DC and then go to the airport and have our flight. And it's probably going to be a late dinner tonight by the time we get there, and it's okay, I guess. But again, we're trying to be flexible and keep all these things in mind so that we see how we do. All right, let's do the next set. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Because yeah, it was just been thinking about all that and still trying to keep in mind that all of these new things are just little, course adjustments as opposed to scratch and start from scratch again, start from zero, which is something that I've done repeatedly. And I think that that's what kind of keeps me getting back to square one. So you make some progress, and instead of adjusting course, it's like, oh, you know what? This is wrong. Let's move sideways and start a different path again. And I keep doing that over and over and over again. And that's the problem with that, is that for me, it feels like the more you start over, the more jaded you get. Because every time that you're saying, okay, this didn't work, let's go back to square one and start again and see if we can be perfect, that is where frustration starts to build up. And every time that you're starting again, it's more and more frustration, more and more frustration. And it's what makes it much more difficult. The older you get and the more times you've started the process from zero, the more frustrated and the more jaded and the more cynical you get about the whole thing. So it's important to not do that. And that's what I'm trying to do here. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Ooh, I feel like this workout is going by very quickly. We're doing really well. We're doing really well. So I didn't do my treadmill walk this morning because we're going to be going to, like I said, downtown DC for the cherry blossoms, and we're gonna walk around the tidal basin. And so that'll count as my walk, sort of gentle cardio for today. And that is it. So this is good. But yeah, so that's why I just kind of got straight into this. Okay, we got one more set. Okay, let's do it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. Okay. Oh, we did it. We did it, you guys. Okay. Let's go make some food. Keep going. Today's a busy day. We're going to Texas, baby. Okay, so for our sort of breakfast / lunch, we're gonna do another little breakfast burrito type thing. So we're gonna do 1 tortilla, one of the Texas sausages, which again, I just keep thinking is so interesting that I happen to get Texas sausages this week when I'm going to Texas, and I'm gonna have real Texas smoked sausage. But anyway, 3 eggs and 50 grams of cheddar. That's 821 calories. And it'll basically be, get us about a little under a third of the way for carbs and protein, and almost halfway for fat. So let's do it. Quick lunch, get ready and go. We keep pushing. Today is a travel day, and they tend to be a little more hectic. So let's do it quickly. Let me just kind of whip everything together, and then I'll show you, and we'll keep moving. Okay, and here it is. We have a beautiful little, like breakfast taco almost. I really didn't plan to make all this sort of like Tex-Mex-y food. I don't know, maybe it was just in my head. I didn't even realize just this preparation for Texas. But anyway, so this breakfast has 821 calories, like we talked about, 26 grams of carbs, mostly coming from the tortilla, 49 grams of protein, eggs, the sausage and cheese, and then 58 grams of fat, again, from the eggs, sausage, and cheese. So we're gonna have this. We're gonna head out, keep moving, because it's a bit of a hectic day, and I'm feeling a little frantic if you can't tell. So, all right, see you guys in a bit.
JJ figured it'd be a hoot and a half if I took over the yarn spinning for this here video, so from here on out, y'all are stuck with my twang. If it ain't your cup of sweet tea, well, bless your heart, you might just want to mosey on right now. Name's Aracita, and I'm fixing to haul y'all on a trek that kicks off deep in the bustling heart of our nation's capital. After kicking off his day with a wild rumpus and sweating through a mean workout to keep his word to y'all, JJ hightailed it over to Washington, D.C.'s tidal basin to feast his eyes on the cherry blossoms at their showiest. Those purty white and pink trees they done brought over from Japan. He reckoned ambling round the basin would be as pleasurable as a porch swing on a summer evening and count as his cardio to boot. Then, after squishing himself into the middle seat, bless his heart, for a good 3.5 hours, he finally landed in the grand old state of Texas. By that time, it was darker than a pocket, and the only spot open for grub was the trusty Cracker Barrel. So, he settled in for a right decent southern meal, a sirloin steak drowned in brown gravy, hash brown casserole, corn, and broccoli. And yep, before y'all start throwing shade, under the circumstances, that was the best he could rustle up. Worn out, hungry, and his willpower running thinner than a cotton shirt in August. And sure shooting, he cracked open a cold, tasty beer. 'Cause let me tell you, that Texas heat ain't nothing to wag a tongue at. It'll have you parched quicker than a tumbleweed in a dust storm. By the time he polished off his plate, he was plumb tuckered out, and even though he had a mind to, he just couldn't muster the gumption to tally up them numbers, macros, and all that jazz for y'all. He swore up and down to himself he'd hunker down and do it right diligent come the next day. So, good night, y'all! Catch you on the flip side to carry on this rip-roaring Texas escapade.